shift in sports radio history. Naga, not gonna be this one. Hell, even Josh Graham is too cool for this shift, and this is his show. What's going on? Welcome, Westwood One Sports Night. I am Johnny Ballgame, John Mallory filling in. I'm typically I'm the late Sunday night guy on Westwood One Sports Night, but Josh wanted the day off, and I get it, to be at the Final Four, and figured I'll dust the old pipes off and get you guys for 3 full hours leading up to, the Final Four. This is the Westwood One Sports Network, where I would imagine, yes, a very high percentage of our affiliates are probably airing the Final Four. So this audience, you are at the right place at the right time. You can fill the phone lines up if you want. 310-840-4910. That's 310-840-4910. Will Dalton producing, ladies and gentlemen. What a name that is, Dalton. If I said this, Will, how about, does this make any sense to you, Dalton? 3 rules. 1, never underestimate your opponent. Expect the unexpected. 2, take it outside. Don't ever start anything at the bar unless it's absolutely necessary. And 3, be nice. What's that mean to you, Will Dalton?
I think those 3 rules are some keys to a happy life right there. I mean, you're going to be very successful if you follow those 3 rules. I love it. Bring it all.
Those are Patrick Swayze, rest in peace, who played the famous role of Dalton, original Roadhouse.
I love that movie.
89, I think it was, and those were his 3 rules. I've memorized those because you guys will realize over the next 3 hours, I'm a stinking idiot, man, and I remember weird stuff from movies, and we incorporate it into our show. So I love working with a Dalton. He's producing. We haven't worked together yet, so it'll be a fun next 3 hours. He's a tobacco roader, man. Yes, grew up watching Carolina and everything else that comes with Tobacco Road basketball, so certainly going to go to Dalton and maybe give him a roadhouse or a roundhouse kick, I should say, in the form of a North Carolina head coaching search. We're going to be everywhere today. A ton of NFL. I'm not going to it's not like I'm trying to throw a piece of meat past a wolf. I'm not going to be that good. So we're not going to sit here and break down every which way of a Final Four, which will be airing while we're talking. I'm going to assume that, hey, if you're here, not at the Final Four listening there, then you don't want a lot of college hoops. Otherwise, you'd be there. You want your hardcore nuts and bolts. You want NFL, maybe some baseball, maybe throw in some quick little Final Four nuggets. But I think I know why you're here. And we're going to fill you with NFL thoughts, theories. We're going to try to make you laugh, and we're going to have a lot of fun on Westwood One Sports Night. I will start, though, with the Final Four. And, and if I had an applause button, I'd press it, and I'd say, Haga Laga, it worked this year. Or maybe I just say, it's working. I mean, this is essentially the 4th straight year we really haven't seen the mega upset. I'm okay with it. And I didn't think I ever would be. If you would have told me 10 years ago, hey, Johnny Ballgame, in 10 years, Cinderella isn't going to be at the tourney and you're not even going to care, I'd say, slap me sideways, man. No, I need Cinderella in my tournament. I need one double-digit team wearing a Russell Athletic patch on its jersey to get out of the opening weekend. I need it. No, I don't. This tournament, the last couple of years, it's teaching me that. And I say it kind of down because sometimes in sports, if you're going to be real with yourself, and you should be, you just kind of got to call it. Stop sugarcoating and just admit that, hey, I didn't want it this way, but maybe it's better. Maybe, oh my God, I'm wrong. We're not interested in that. We're only interested in being right. We're not interested in knowing what the real answer is. I get it. I'm the same way. 310-840-4910. Get in on this. Is NIL working? I didn't want it to, but I have to give this tournament a round of applause. Charlie Chaplin style at the Oscars? No. But you know what? Job well done. And the NIL, look, I hate the outside world of college football. Slimy, greasy, cheesy. It's gross, dude. And I get where fans are completely turned off on that. I don't want to screw college sports. My alma mater, my team, they're in the Mountain West. They're in the Pac-12. That we don't have a chance anymore. I totally get that argument. I totally get it. You're right. You kind of don't, and it's weird. And dang it, it's working. Ratings for this tournament have been the best in 30 years, every single round, guys. And the common denominator is, the glass slipper. No, we don't need your stupid slippers, man. We don't want David versus Goliath. We don't. We want Goliath versus Goliath, right? And that's what this tournament has been. I mean, you have the storylines. Danny Hurley trying to do something that Wooden has done. What? Illinois trying to be like, we're the team that nobody wants to win this because we don't really have storylines or much of a history, and we're going to throw our mix into all these other cool storylines. Sure. I happen to think Illinois is going to win tonight. I want UConn, though. Arizona, first since 1997, Western Region team. Are you kidding me? Somewhere, stand up. Jason Terry, Michael Dickerson, Miles Simon, Mike Bibby, A.J. Bramblett, Lute Olson, rest in peace, mine. Hell, I'll even give Passner a shout-out. Front row seat. It's been that long. So I would love to see Arizona. I'm a Western guy. I've lived in Washington, Oregon, California, and Idaho in my radio career in life. So I've paid attention to those leagues. So I'd love to see Arizona do this. And then Michigan, holy shnikes. Michigan, this is like a pro outfit. This is just a pro LLC that they have going on in Ann Arbor. They'll take whoever the hell they want. They are pillaging. And too bad their football program cannot get its act together. But when it will, and it will, sorry to break your heart, but they'll be Michigan again. And they'll be Michigan again real quick. But they're that in hoops right now. I think they win it. And you look at their team. It's not dudes they recruited, a couple of them. But it's a dude from UAB by way of a junior college. For my boy Dalton over there. They even have a Tar Heel on their team. That's the era. Michigan needs better players. Okay, let's call North Carolina's roster. They have good players. Let's get them. That's the world we're living in. It's nuts, dude. But that's it. It's crazy. But at the same time, gosh, are we digging it? I mean, is it better? Is college basketball better now than it was 5, 10, whatever years ago? Do you care that you are watching millionaires? And the more you get to the Final Four, the more millionaire-ish you are. And very rarely will we see a team that doesn't have a mega payroll from a mega league in the Final Four in this thing. And I might be okay with it, dude. I mean, this Final Four, it checked the boxes. All the food groups were represented. Storylines, yes. You have the classic mega moment. Hell yes, Braylon Mullins. You will watch that play every year the rest of your life. All I can say, Dookie, love ya. And you have Goliath versus Goliath. Like, I'll take that. I want Pacino and De Niro to star in the movie. I don't need Pacino in some former boy bander that they're bringing up that thinks got a real good shot here. Nah, I'd rather just go see the stars. And that's what this tournament is doing. And I imagine the Final Four ratings will be superb. I don't know how historic or whatever, but this is a massive win. And I ask you, is it because of the era of Cinderella, make like a tree, and get out of here? Were they right? Should Auburn have been a 16 seed? Are you done with that? Auto bids? Nah. If college football got its hands on college basketball, there's 31 auto bids. There's 37 at-large bids. Could you imagine if they got rid of the 31 auto bids and they just say, sorry, 68 auto bids, at-large bids, I'm sorry. No automatic qualifying. You give us your resume, and we pick the 68 best teams, period. If college football had a say, that's what it would do. It would suck. I mean, I love the 31 auto bids. I do. But I don't need to see Sister Jean 3 straight weeks. Oh, rest in peace, by the way. I don't need her 3 straight weeks of this thing. No, you can just go ahead and give me UConn or Duke. I'll just take them. I mean, this year, there was one team that you kind of said, whoa, and I actually had him in my bracket. High Point. We all got high out in the garage on High Point for a good 15 minutes, and then we hopped back in the house and we watched the real teams play in the tournament. And we watched and watched and watched and listened on Westwood One, Kevin Harlan. Oh, the best. I didn't want the NIL era to win, man. I didn't. I don't need pro sports in college, but they're there. And most people, more people than before, are watching. And they're winning. And who's getting the money? The mega conferences? And sure, it's just, in my opinion, take a team from a high-level mid-major. Go like the Atlantic 10. Go what will be the Pac-12. Although there's going to be some good teams in the Pac-12 with Gonzaga, San Diego State. Maybe they can hang a little in this new world, but without football money, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Like, it's really, really hard. You got to be like UConn to be able to do this without football money. I'm sorry, man, but my boy over there, Dalton, Mr. Roadhouse himself, big old North Carolina fan. Dude, Michael Jordan went here. The Dean Dome, which, by the way, is like old now. All these titles, Carolina Blue. Okay, well, Michigan is paying more. I don't need to know. I don't even know the name of Michigan's arena. I don't care. They're offering more money. And teams like that were able to live and flourish and grow and dominate under those rules. Carolina, 100%. They're cool. When you're 17, 18 years old, you want to be cool. That's why everybody goes to Oregon in football. They're badass. They invented swag. All due respect to Miami in the 80s for starting it. The uniforms and this, that's what the kids want. It's really hard, in my opinion, to sell them on the 1982 Final Four and the shot anymore. Who's going to pay the most? And, we're seeing these teams, guys, like I said, Michigan's team, it's not all McDonald's All-Americans. Far from it. It's the best player at UAB last year. That's Alabama Birmingham. That's where they're getting these guys. And they're, what, the best Michigan team ever. I hear that. It's not the Fab Five-ish. We got the 5 best high school dudes. Thank you, Brian Dutcher. Thank you, Steve Fisher. Let's have some fun and let's reinvent and merge hip-hop and basketball like no one has ever done before. Thank you, Fab Five. You made it cool. But this Michigan team I hear is better, and it's built totally differently. It's like if you're Michigan, like high school kids, I don't know. It's going to have to be a total one-and-doneer, no questions asked. You'll have them for 1 year. But other than that, let's just go get, like, for example, St. John's, the Johnnies, Rick Pitino. You trust his scouting department? I do. The game winner, the buzzer beater against Kansas. That was a kid who was playing at Idaho State last year in the Big Sky Conference, dropping 18 a night. Last year. This year, he's now a legend with the Johnnies, who are back, and he has buzzer beaters. St. John's is saying, oh, high school badass? Kid from Idaho State dropping 18 a night in the Big Sky? The bus leagues? Yeah, let's bring him in. That's what they're doing, dude. And are we seeing better teams now because of it? You can cut your losses now. If you miss on a kid, hey, we're going in another direction. Thanks. That's all you do now. It's a transaction. And I say all this stuff, and in my head I'm thinking, like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. But, dude, we're all watching. And maybe this NIL era is working. 310-840-4910. A very familiar voice will dawn these airwaves next. I'm Johnny Ballgame, Westwood One Sports Night. Download the Westwood One Sports app. How we doing? Perfect.
Love the Roadhouse reference.
Oh, the best.
I love that movie. It's such a meathead movie, but I love it.
Will, are you talking about movies with Johnny Ballgame right
Bruh.
now?
Yeah.
I did not
Classics,
volunteer
not just
this.
movies.
He just hit me with a bruh.
On his own.
This guy.
He starts making Roadhouse reference to me.
You're speaking his love
Didn't-
language.
I didn't
you might
do
have,
it.
Like, found his diary. They got pulled pork and mac and cheese on the menu here. They've read my diary here, as we are high above you, high above the court at Lucas Oil Stadium right now.
I have Tommy
Sweet.
Lloyd on my TV right now.
Tommy,
What do we
Lloyd's
got?
on your
About
TV?
4 minutes? 3 minutes?
Cool. Thanks for doing this, by the way, Johnny.
Cool. Josh, I'm
appreciate
just
it.
going to kind of warm it up with, dude, today must not suck for you right now. And just kind of,
Yeah.
give us the bird's eye view,
Sincerely,
kind
I
of the
mean this.
experiences.
Whatever you want, man, I'm so happy to do.
Thanks for doing this, man.
This
Yeah.
is my Super Bowl. Growing up in North Carolina, I followed the sport year round. So whatever direction interests you, it interests me.
Awesome. Okay, your Super Bowl. I like it. I'm going to check out real quick, guys. I'll be back in a minute.
Do you think?
All right.
Will Dalton, how things going?
Things are terrific.
I'm posting
Going good.
a walk and talk. I already got it up on 2 social media sites. I'm putting it up on YouTube now.
A walk and talk?
From walking to the arena.
Oh.
Yeah, we're putting out hashtag content, brother.
Love the content.
Courtesy of the world's best producer, Armin Williams.
I know that's right. Oh, I shot Armin a text last night.
Yeah?
I was watching the Field of 68,
You saw
and I
us
saw
both.
Armin lurking around in the background.
It was both of us.
I figured you were back there somewhere. It was Doster and him, and I figured you were probably behind one of the signs back there.
Putting in work is what we got to say to that.
I know that's right. Hey, Jacobs, you there? Is there any way that you could take the programming down a little bit for me, because it just completely drowns you out if you try to talk in my ear during the show, as we've seen? Okay, cool. How'd you like that short I put together?
I loved it, man.
Good.
Thank you for doing that. Helped me out big time.
Yeah. I made this for Linnell for his interview this week.
All right, I'm back.
Cool deal. Let me tweet
Yes,
out that
please.
I'm joining you guys real quick. Oh, you made a new graphic for Linnell?
For his interview this week with Chris Paul and them.
Can you make it so I can see you on StreamYard? Like, I just saw myself when I was looking back. I couldn't see you.
Oh. So,
Are you guys doing video?
Say it, Josh?
Are you guys doing video?
We are, but
Okay.
Mallory doesn't have, like, traditional access to
Then
the StreamYard.
I'm just going to post the YouTube link.
Okay. But he's in here, like, as a guest. Like, I just sent him a link because he doesn't have, like, the login credentials
that's
like
fine.
we do. Which is why
I just
want
to see his face. It just helps me if I can look at my laptop next to me in my studio here and see his face.
So, Will, do you want me to post that the YouTube link? Does it have the audio at least?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, we're doing video.
Okay.
Just like always.
Yeah, I didn't bring the camera into the stadium. I just brought the brick.
Oh, in a second, you're going to hear that sweet graham cracker crunch of a sports radio voice. This is his time slot. He took the day off, but the suits at Westwood One are making him do at least one shift with the new guy over here. I'm Johnny Ballgame filling in. Let's get to the hotline. Josh Graham from the house that Peyton Manning built, Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis. Oh, Josh Graham, thanks for giving us some time, dude. Today must not suck for you.
Oh, this is, as a kid who grew up on Tobacco Road in North Carolina, today is as good as it gets. And being in Indianapolis and starting to see this place fill up, a lot of orange getting ready for this first game, Illinois and UConn, but a special Final Four when you consider two passionate fan bases seeing their team get to this stage for the first time in over 2 decades. Illinois since 2005, Arizona since 2001, and then name brands. UConn, you could call them a blue blood, you could call them a new blood. They're back here again, and you know that the Husky faithful will be well represented. And then there's Michigan knocking on the door for the 5th time since their national championship win in 1989, looking to break through. The storylines are endless. The cup is overflowing, John.
It's Goliath versus Goliath. This is what we want from the Final Four, Josh Graham. This is the Super Bowl for you, man. So it means a lot more. You're a Tobacco Road guy, too. Tell us, put us inside your head. Let us see what you see, but more importantly, feel what you are feeling, Josh.
I am feeling really good because I just had a cake pop and a barbecue pulled pork plate. I assume that's exactly what you meant when you asked what I was feeling and what I was seeing. But instead, getting to the basketball front, this is tonight's games are fascinating for completely different reasons. You have a run-it-back game between UConn and Illinois. These teams played way back in December, but these teams were completely different at that time. UConn won the game by 13 points, but Terrace Reed was coming back from an injury. He only played 15 minutes, scored 2 points, got in foul trouble. He's not the guy who's averaging in this tournament 21 a game and 13 rebounds. On the same token, though, Keaton Wagler wasn't Keaton Wagler. And how a 6'6" point guard who shoots 40% from three as a freshman gets overlooked in the state of Kansas as the Kansas High School Player of the Year by both the Jayhawks and K-State is well beyond me. But Illinois and Brad Underwood are certainly happy they have him in their lineup, and they're going to need him to have a big night to get past Dan Hurley's Huskies.
Well, Josh, who do you think wins tonight? Let's cut to the chase, Graham Cracker.
I'm going to go with experience. I'm going to go with seniority when it comes to picks, because this is the part where it is relevant to see. I wish you could see what it looks like here, because it's hard to express the difference in venue playing in a football stadium and having that court right at the center of it versus what these kids have played in literally every other game in their lives. So being on the stage, it has merits both as a player and as a coach. And with UConn, you have Alex Caravan, who's won 2 national championships, and you have Solo Ball, and you have Jaden Ross, and you have Jalen Stewart, who have been part of that last championship team a couple of years ago, who know what this stage is about, and they're not going to back down from it whatsoever. Dan Hurley winning 2 national titles. Brad Underwood, this is his 39th year in coaching. He's 62 years old, and he's never been to the Final Four in any capacity as a coach. So he's here dealing with those differences, those elements. We mentioned how young their team is and how they haven't been on this stage. I think that's going to play to UConn's advantage, and UConn just had Illinois' number, not just the 13-point win this year, but don't forget they met in the Elite Eight 2 years ago. A 30-0 UConn run in that game in a rout. As for the headliner tonight, Michigan-Arizona, what's most interesting there is what you trust more. That's a game that's going to be decided in the margins. And what I trust more in a setting such as this is size. It's your ability to get a bucket when the game isn't as pretty as you want it to be. And I'm going to lean on Michigan's front line. I'm going to lean on Adi Mara, 7 feet tall. I'm going to lean on Yaxel Lindeborg, who's a first-team All-American, while Arizona doesn't have a first or a second-team All-American on their roster. And I'm going to lean on a team that has all 5 of their starters, sophomores or older, 4 of them being upperclassmen, over a Arizona team that really leans on freshman teenagers like Koa P, Braden Burries, and Karchinkov as well. That's why I give the edge to Michigan, and I give the edge to UConn tonight. And I think that also, John, would set up the best possible championship matchup in terms of appeal, having Dan Hurley and the UConn Huskies facing a brand like Michigan, trying to end the Big Ten's title drought that is now 26 years old.
Well said. Josh Graham with us, Josh Graham Show, Johnny Ballgame filling in here. Josh, from Indianapolis at the Final Four. All right, I think Michigan wins too. Who do you want to win? What's Josh Graham? You're at the Final Four as a fan too. The hell are you rooting for?
No, my rooting interest, honestly, the rooting interest, this is going to upset most of the people in the building here because there's going to be a lot of orange here tonight. My rooting interest is UConn, just because I think regardless of what you get in the championship, you would have much more storylines regarding the Huskies, including maybe the greatest title run of the modern history of college basketball. 3 titles in 4 years. That could be on the line for the Huskies if they win tonight, and that intrigues me. And in terms of Arizona, Michigan, I just want a fabulous game tonight, and I think we're going to get it. If I had to root on one of the two, I'd probably just root Arizona. But what's interesting as well, John, there are 7 active head coaches in the sport that have won a national championship. That's it. And only 2 of them are younger than 55. Dan Hurley and Todd Golden, who won a year ago. Dusty May and Tommy Lloyd could add to that list, and college basketball could do a lot to have another young coaching star in the sport really make a name for themselves on this big stage in Indianapolis.
A 30,000-foot view from the 2026 tournament from Josh Graham's perspective, heading into the Final Four, tipping off here momentarily. How's this tournament been for you?
Oh, it's been fabulous. We were told at the start of this tournament, oh, it's all chalk now. 4 number 1 seeds went last year, and you're not going to see any surprises or upsets or anything. And yet we get a 9 seed in Iowa getting to the Elite Eights. We see the Illinois Fighting Illini making their first trip in 21 years as a 3 seed. UConn obviously being a 2. What a shocking finish that was to beat Duke on Sunday night. I think anytime you doubt this tournament, anytime you pretend to have it figured out, this tournament, it zags on you. And that's what makes it such a beautiful event and the best postseason in all of sports.
Listen to this. Josh Graham of The Josh Graham Show on The Josh Graham Show as a guest who with Johnny Ballgame filling in, just spitting. I'm going to talk about this throughout these next couple hours, Josh, and that is the biggest, baddest college basketball team of your lifetime. And people are going to call in. The cool thing about this is every single person has that. In most of the cases, they're different eras. For me, I'd probably go with UNLV 1990, 1991. They were in the Big West, okay? And nobody cared. They were the biggest, baddest team in the country, and for me, growing up as a kid, had a huge impact on me. And I think big, bad college hoops teams, I always go back to those the Shark teams in the late 80s, early 90s. Where do you go? Who's the biggest, baddest team of your lifetime?
Well, I know what the producer of this show, Will Dalton's answer is, but I don't know if you asked him that question. I guarantee you he's going to say the 2009 North Carolina Tar Heels.
09 Tar Heels.
There it is, right there.
Yeah.
But to me, my brain goes 4 different places. It's 4 teams that come to mind. It's because again, it's 2001 Duke comes to mind. That's the last time Arizona made it to the Final Four, and they lost to this Duke team in the title game. You're talking about Shane Battier, Carlos Boozer, Jay Williams, talent all over the place. Yes, that 2009. Yes, that 2009 Tar Heel team rolled through everybody, and they're on the list with Tyler Hansborough and an older squad that ran it back after falling short in 2008. Then I go to 2018 UConn, 2018 Villanova and 2024 UConn as teams that just obliterated the field on their way to a national championship. And it's funny you bring up that UNLV team, because right now on the scoreboard at Lucas Oil Stadium, they're showing the finish to that epic UNLV Duke game from 1991.
Oh, that was in Indy, right?
Yep,
that was in Indy,
35 years ago, and it was Coach K's first title. So they have that on the scoreboard right now as we're speaking to you.
Are you a fan of this era? And I think you caught a little bit of my last segment filling in here, Josh Graham, where it's like, college sports in general. I mean, the off seasons are just a disaster now. Unlimited free agency, free market system every single year, and it's chaotic at best. But is it working, Josh Graham?
It's a mess for the coaches, but from an entertainment perspective, it's as good as it's been in a long, long time. Because, John, like what we hearken for, what you're talking about with UNLV, what makes that team great, dominant, what we were talking about with 2001 Duke and 2009 Carolina, it's knowing these players and them sticking around long periods of time. And while there are some cons that come along with what we've seen, we have seen college players stick around longer. And Rick Pitino actually made this point saying the talent level is better now than at any other point he's coached, because you could pay the international players in Europe to come in and play because it pays better in college than it does in the pro leagues in Europe. So we're seeing the elevation of quality of play, and we're seeing guys stick around longer because they're being paid as a result. And while there's some warts that come with that, and you're acknowledging them, and they certainly make a pain in the ass for college coaches, I think the pros outweigh the cons, and the ratings are reflecting that as well, that the college game is a really fun watch right now. And the NBA might want to take note, because the biggest critique of the NBA is lack of urgency in the regular season. It's a 31-game regular season sprint in college. You don't have players taking the night off. It's fun to watch night to night, and the games have more meaning. And then you get into the best postseason in sports, where it truly doesn't get better than what we're about to see tonight.
Yeah, well said. I watch college basketball preferably over the NBA now, and I did not grow up with that. I was all NBA, but I think that's a whole nother conversation. Hopefully we can have down the road. Josh Graham with us. It's the Josh Graham Show, Westwood One Sports Night. Johnny Ballgame filling in for him. This bigger picture, and I got one question on Gino in a second, too, on the statement he released with UConn. But the last part is the little guy. What do you say to a fan whose favorite team is in the Atlantic 10 or the Mountain West or the Pac-12 or any of these the MAC where, dude, getting to the tournament one and then having the separation. Josh, you have teams with $15 million payrolls playing teams with $15,000 payrolls.
What I would say to them, because I am an alum from one of those schools. I went to East Carolina University, who hasn't been to the NCAA tournament since 1993, and they're the American Conference. Go Pirates, ARG, the whole thing. But what I would say is the NCAA tournament is great, but college basketball is great throughout the season. And you have a conference that you play in and that you have access to this great tournament always through potentially winning it. And that's what's great. Everybody has access to it, and this tournament's a celebration. 16 seeds know when they enter this tournament they have no shot at winning it, but they won their league, and they had a great year. And just because you don't win 6 in a row in March doesn't mean you don't have a great season. And what I would say to those in the A-10, if you win the A-10, that deserves to be celebrated. VCU, shout out to you. But we tend to do this sometimes, and this is the professionalization of college sports that I think is impacting this. We're certainly seeing it in college football, and it's annoying with the playoff that success is only being defined by the postseason, not with what you do in the regular season, not what you do in your conference tournament. And I think that's a wrong way to think about it, because college sports is great within all the different silos and the different corners, the little nooks and crannies across the country, and the smaller conferences that make up the whole.
You got to enjoy the journey. You have to enjoy the journey with it, for sure. Josh Graham, when you first saw, live or whatnot, Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley last night, what was in your head?
I was live right after it happened last night, was on until 3 o'clock this morning on Westwood One Sports, and I thought it was embarrassing for Gino Auriemma, just because you might have points, but no one wants to hear it after you lost for the first time this year, and you lost by double digits, that you're going to make a big deal about that. What people love to see with their sports teams, especially the great teams that don't lose very often, that when you do, you lose graciously. And he didn't do that. And the excuse that he gave to warrant his behavior, both at the end of the third quarter with Holly Rowe and in the postgame, it didn't meet. It didn't match. And while it's easy to dunk on Gino Auriemma for all that today, I will say this as well. I acknowledge somebody who's willing to recognize a mistake and apologize for that. You don't see that very often nowadays. In fact, you have PR specialists and strategists saying, don't apologize. It just attracts more attention to the mistake that you made, and no one's going to accept an apology. I do. Yeah. And I'm glad that Gino Auriemma did that, and I think that deserves acknowledgement as well if we're going to knock him for the short fallings.
So my next question, you're giving him a pass. Gino Auriemma, Josh Graham's giving him a pass.
No, I don't know what it looks like when you don't give him a pass. You call it embarrassing. That's what it was. But you can separate that from also, okay, that's in the past. How do you act moving forward? And Gino Auriemma, after making a bad decision, made a good one today in an effort to try to make it right.
I'm with you. This is a guy who was, let's be honest. He was the face of women's basketball for probably 20 years in this country. He is no longer, and that's fine. That goes to show how impactful he was. He lifted an entire sport. So hopefully this is a nothing burger, move on. It's Gino. Yeah, he hates losing. Let's forget about it and figure out what's next in the world of women's basketball. That's kind of the boat I'm sailing in right now too, Josh Graham. I mean, it was a bad look, but what the hell, man? Gino ultimately has been amazing for women's basketball. Josh Graham, fun having you on, dude. I love it. I'm on. You been on your show before?
Believe it or not, this is not the first time that this has happened, as they have me going places and doing things. But I so greatly appreciate you sitting in. I hope you enjoy the games tonight, and I hope we can connect somewhere down the line, John. Thanks for keeping the seat warm.
Absolutely. There he is, Josh Graham. Appreciate you. Westwood One Sports Night. Josh Graham, I'm Johnny Ballgame filling in, and we have 2 full more hours. I have NFL. Gosh, the quarterback market. Did John Schneider teach us something about quarterbacking in the NFL and how to find it and how to nurture it? Has he? I want to talk some NFL coming up. North Carolina gig and, one little Final Four talk before the games tip off. It's Westwood One Sports Night. I'm John Mallory. Download the Westwood One Sports app.
Thank you so much, John, for doing this. And, Will, I'll see you later. Josh Jacobs, good to hear your voice. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Later.
Good hit.
Jacobs, how
Good hit,
long
Josh.
are you going to be in that chair tonight? 8 p.m., okay. So just tell the next guy that I will be I'll be going on with them after the last game finishes tonight, sometime during it. I've texted with Kovacs and with Lund. I've been texting with them. Say it again. All right. Who is the board op tonight? Well, who's on after 8 p.m. local? Oh, Oliver is. Alex. Okay, well, tell Alex, then I'll connect to this same brick. Yep. All right, well, I'll see you guys later. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Mallory.
Yeah, I'm here.
I sent you a Teams invite if you want to be able to see me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't even know this thing was broadcasting on YouTube.
Yeah, we got it on YouTube. If you want, I can stream it out to your X as well. Up to you, though.
No, you're good. Just leave it. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. I didn't.
Did you see that invite?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Just let me know if you have any trouble getting in there. There we go.
Johnny Ball Game, John Mallory filling in for the Josh Graham Show today. Typically on Westwood One Sunday nights, kind of that late night, overnight window. Good stuff with Josh Graham earlier. We'll get to the NFL here in a second. 310-840-4910. I think it's going to be an all Big Ten championship, and I have no problem saying that. I hope UConn wins. I love the story. Hell yes. I would love Danny Hurley to face winning 3 championships in 4 years. That'd be the best, man. I would love that. Sure, yes. But I think Illinois is going to win. Hope I'm wrong. But I'm kind of going with the Big Ten right now. Feels like that's kind of what you should do with college athletics. You know, look what they're doing in football. Here they are in hoops as well. I thought Michigan, from wire to wire, if there could have been, was the best team in the country this year. Wire to wire, Michigan. They had a little slump there, got picked off a couple of times, but the tournament, it's been an easy peasy. You know, you talk Dalton Roadhouse about the 2000, what was it, the 08-09 North Carolina Tar Heel team. There wasn't even a game that was close in that run.
No. They won by a record margin.
Was it record? That's what Michigan has done so far to this tournament on that. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. But, yeah, that North Carolina team, I mean, they completely dominated a tournament. It's rare you see that, where a team like those Florida teams with Billy Donovan, the Noah squad, they just completely dominated those tournaments. Corey Brewer, Al Horford, yeah, those teams. Who was the biggest, baddest men's college basketball team of your life? Who comes to mind? Dalton, he's got the 09 Heels. I'm going with the 90 Running Rebels, even though the 91 team was better, but they lost to Duke. But just that UNLV team, just badasses. 3 lottery picks. That's my squad. The biggest, baddest team I ever saw. I saw them in the Kingdome in the regional final in like 1990. I was just a little kid, and they were a big deal. And the problem I have with college basketball now is I don't think we get that anymore. You don't get 3 years. No, you get 7 months, right? They're on campus for 8 months. And then even Michigan, even Illinois, you got to rebuild, reload everything every single year. So you don't get that, well, hey, man, look who we have coming back thing. You don't get that here. That doesn't exist anymore in this landscape. And again, I didn't want to like it, but it's like I think I am. I liked Cinderella. I thought it was bitchin', man. I loved it. By the way, shout out to the Westwood One Sports Night YouTube crowd right now. Comments are live and kicking. And I just got to throw this one out there, too. Whatever happened, my producer doesn't know this, he's a kid. Whatever happened to the badass shoe commercials? It started with Mars Blackman. It's got to be the shoes, Michael Jordan. I remember Charles Barkley versus Godzilla. Remember those with the 180 Air Max? Those were bitchin' shoes. Remember Barkley on Godzilla? I remember David Robinson, the rookie, had to do all the hazing things, and he was shining shoes and stuff. But I will never forget Baby Penny, and I will never forget Grandmama Larry Johnson in a grandma suit dunking on dudes at the gym. And I wanted to buy, I still remember the shoe, Converse React Juice. And I was like, Mom, I want some of that React Juice. It was gel in the back of his shoe. But Larry Johnson was dunking on dudes, and Grandmama was built. And that is part of the reason I'm leaving the NBA. I don't want to be, but the NBA is doing this to me. Back then, the NBA had cool things like that. Is there a good shoe commercial right now, my producer, Will Dalton? Can you think of a really good shoe commercial?
I mean, the New Balances with Cooper Flag are all right, and Ohtani and Tyrese Maxey. But it probably doesn't compare to the time you're talking about. I guarantee you it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, the shoe commercials, I mean, you had Spike Lee and Michael Jordan, and they did a whole series, and it was like the coolest thing ever, you know? And anyway, I just think the league, the NBA did a much better job growing its characters back then. Like and I'll be serious, okay, who are the characters of the NBA right now? Slippy, Slappy, Swami. I mean, not one pops in. But you could take me back 35 years. Oh, characters? You know, first we'll start with Sir Charles. Let me throw in a little Dennis Rodman or just the whole Bad Boys Pistons. And I'll just put that whole squad in. I mean, you had characters in the league. I don't see that as much. Great stuff. Great first hour, Josh Graham. I'm Johnny Ballgame filling in on Westwood One Sports Night NFL. And I'm going to say something, and you're going to say, gosh, who is this idiot? Is quarterback overrated? 310-840-4910. And if you have a shoe commercial that I'm forgetting, speak now or forever hold it. I'll even go best commercial ever, best Super Bowl commercial ever. Michael Jordan and Larry Bird over the scoreboard, through the window, off the glass, nothing but net. All right, NFL. I'm Johnny Ballgame filling in for Josh Graham on Westwood One Sports. Appreciate Will Dalton producing, Josh Jacobs running our board here at Westwood One Sports Night. Appreciate everybody within the Westwood One family here being able to coordinate. It's obviously a very, very busy time. Nobody broadcasts more games on the radio than Westwood One, and the Final Four is like its baby, and they do a terrific job with the entire production. So filling in for Josh Graham, typically I am Sunday nights from, 9 Eastern to, would that be 1 Eastern? Something like that. Late nights on Westwood One. Johnny Ballgame here, having fun with you guys. Did we learn something from the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl? Like, was it one of those weird Super Bowl years where you learn something about maybe where the league is headed? One of those things? Like maybe an they're going to be a problem thing? Sometimes Super Bowl champions are just, it's just great. You won a Super Bowl. Maybe you hear from them again, but in most cases, you don't. The reason I say this is I just saw Sam Darnold and Drake May face off in a Super Bowl. And if I would have said that 365 days ago from right now, Westwood One would fire me. Rightfully so. If I came on here and said, the Seahawks just signed Sam Darnold, they'll probably, go to the Super Bowl. Oh, and Drake May, year 2, year 1 for Vrabel, coming off a 3-win Patriot team. Yeah, they'll probably be back. Yeah, they'll probably be there too. I mean, that was one of the craziest Super Bowl matchups we've seen. In the NFL, are you kidding me? It's the nut house. Nobody does crazy like the NFL. That's why we love that, and it's not even close. You don't know who's going to win. 3 good teams will lose every week to 3 bad teams. That's the NFL. That's why we love it. It doesn't have to be a market thing like other sports, college sports, right? If you went to a school that's not in a mega power conference, you're not really going to compete ever at the level that maybe you once did before until you can somehow, some way come up with a payroll that matches them, and good luck with that. Not going to happen. So in the NFL, you have a shot. Every team, Indianapolis cut Peyton Manning. It wasn't the other way around. It wasn't, I'm Peyton Manning. I'm sorry, guys. I hope everybody understands, but I can't just accentuate me here. So I hope everybody's cool with it. Everybody knows I got to get to the big market. Sorry, it was fun. See ya, my jersey retirement ceremony. No. Peyton Manning was one of the biggest stars in sports. And he played in Indiana. Hey, fantasy football geeks. You remember when LaDainian Tomlinson was the first overall pick, essentially in your fantasy draft from what? 03 to 09? He was in San Diego. Yeah, they don't even have a team anymore. You didn't care? LT. Everybody in the football world knew who that LT was. He was the best back in the league and the greatest fantasy football scorer ever. And he was in San Diego. He didn't have to go to the Cowboys to make that happen. Far from it. So that's the world of the NFL we live in. And based on that, is the best way to do it find your quarterback during the first 4 or 5 years of the contract, depending when you draft him. Shnikes, you better load the roster, and you got to hit. You'll have money to spend it well, draft well, and get there when the quarterback is on the rookie deal. That's the best way to do it. And you can go back to the LOB Seahawks. They had a third-round quarterback who was making like $700,000. You know what that did for the rest of the roster? But again, you know how hard that is to do, to find that quarterback play for $700,000? No, I get it. That's like impossible. But most of the Chiefs' run was when Mahomes was on his rookie deal and he had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Dogs, dude. Better players than he has now. And you're seeing that because Mahomes is no longer on his rookie deal. Joe Burrow, he went to the Super Bowl year 2 of his rookie deal. That's the best way to do it. But even after that, say you are the Bills. Damn, man, you didn't get to a Super Bowl on Josh Allen's rookie deal? Uh-oh. The best time to do it is on the rookie deal. And you didn't? Okay, well, you're going to have to do things backwards now because you got a quarterback who has an average salary of $55 million and a cap that's over, what, 300? I mean, just for example, Josh Allen is 15% of the Bills' cap this year. 15. Last year, Sam Darnold was less than 5% of the Seahawks cap. There's no scientific way to do it, right? There's no, okay, you just do this and this, that, you will be a Super Bowl contender. No, dude, you got to hit. You got to get the best coaches. You got to get lucky. The NFL, man, it's tough, dude. So I ask, 310-840-4910. Is the way to go, I'm saying the road less traveled or the road with less distance. Can you get there quicker trying to do what John Schneider, GM of the Seattle Seahawks, did now twice, essentially, where you got to hit on a quarterback that, not many others really want. You got to find him. And John Schneider found Russell Wilson, and John Schneider found Sam Darnold. And look at that roster. It's an A-level roster in the NFL, and it's staying that way. Not to mention what they're doing up there in Seattle. Right now, they're what? 8th in cap space. What? So they have an A roster and a ton of money to spend. Like, I don't know, we'll talk comfortable fan bases. If you're a Seahawks fan, man, your feet are up. You're comfy. You got those good socks on? Oh, yeah. Sweatpants? Yes. You're comfy. Is that the way to do it? To be better everywhere else and be good enough at quarterback to get you there. I just saw Drake May go to a Super Bowl, guys, and I know when he was drafted, but I also know he's not the first, second, third, or fourth best quarterback in the AFC. And I know Sam Darnold, at least going into last year, was not the first, second, third, fourth best quarterback in the NFC. And that's who made the Super Bowl, because they have rosters. Is that the way to do it? Because I look at the Chiefs right now, I mean, they are struggling. They have to cut guys. Kenneth Walker will help, but they don't get to have the roster that they used to have. Because when you have to go full-on quarterback money mode, and I'm talking Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, Lamar, Mahomes. Sadly, you have to include Deshaun Watson, top of the list. When you go this way, and Cleveland fan, I don't need your answer on this. I know it. Did John Schneider, has he taught us now twice and we didn't listen? Everybody needs the quarterback, and you can't wait. Oh, yeah, you draft Mahomes, brilliant. 5 amazing years, and you can't wait to sign him to that next megaplex deal. You want that, right? That's hitting a home run. You find your guy, you keep him, and yeah, he's going to be some years 18% of your cap, but quarterbacks win games. That's the franchise player. We will build around him. He's the chef of the restaurant, and we have to pay him so much that, the produce isn't as good as the last chef because we didn't have to pay him that much, but the ingredients were awesome. So you want the chef that maybe doesn't have the rapport, but he has really good ingredients, and you think we can get a tasty meal with this. John Schneider thinks that, GM of the Seahawks. He's built 2 completely different Super Bowl rosters in a, 12, 11-year period, and he's done it the same way. Roster first, capable quarterback second. I mean, think about this, guys. Everybody is crushing Geno Smith. Aaron Glenn, oh my gosh, he's taking us to the promised land. Everybody loves crushing Geno Smith. Fine, whatevs. I saw Geno Smith 2 years ago with a B+ to A- roster in Seattle go 10-7. I saw him go to the playoffs 2 years before that with Seattle, 9-8. That's proof that if you have an A-level roster, Geno Smith can win you 10 games and, maybe fart around and get you to the playoffs. That's it. But that's the difference. And I'm not saying you have to go Geno Smith. Seattle ultimately missed on him. Great. They didn't miss on Darnold. And he didn't make jack, and he didn't make squat last year. And they were able to bring in DeMarcus Lawrence, who had the best year of his career. Is the megaplex quarterback overrated? How comfortable is a Bills fan right now? How comfortable are Packer fans? I mean, you got $100 million guaranteed for Jordan Love? You love that 7 seed, no pun intended. And, I mean, of course, this goes without saying, but how about them Cowboys? In my opinion, the worst contract, or one of them, the worst contract in this era of quarterback history is the Cowboy gem of Dak Prescott. It's so brilliant they have to redo it every single year and kick the can further down the road. There's more voids on Dak's contract than my last checkbook. It's crazy. And here's the deal. I don't want to pay for Patrick Mahomes and get Dak Prescott. Because if I do that, I'm completely screwed. I can't win that way. If I pay all that money to the quarterback and the quarterback isn't of a Mahomes or Allen or Lamar, you don't have a chance. And, I mean, Lamar Jackson, is he 3-5 career in the playoffs? So, I mean, yeah, Raven fan, you're not shopping him, but you've had better eras. I mean, Lamar Jackson is the megaplex money quarterback. They're 3-5 in the playoffs. Dak Prescott, the worst playoff winning percentage any quarterback in NFL history has had, minimum 5 starts. And they pay him more than the Chiefs pay Mahomes. I'd almost rather do what John Schneider did 2 years ago. You got the kick-ass roster. Your quarterback is Geno Smith. You're rolling the dice with him. You went 10-7, and usually, you know this, it's so rare a team wins 10 games and doesn't make the playoffs. That, never happens. New England, 2008, you remember well, Matt Castle, 11-5, and they didn't make it. It's rare. We remember it. And that's what Seattle had 2 years ago. We have the roster. Geno Smith's our quarterback. We upgraded quarterback, Geno to Sam Darnold, and Hagalaga. We just won a Super Bowl. And they look really good moving forward. Really good. Is that the better way to do it? 310-840-4910. Yeah, Seattle fan is comfy. Who else? Who's another comfy NFL fan base right now? That's your team, and you're like, you know what? I'm cool. I like my roster. I like my draft capital. I like what we're doing in free agency. I like our current cap situation. Rock and roll. Who else is on that list? 310-840-4910. I'm Johnny Ballgame, filling in for Josh Graham, Westwood One Sports Night. Download the Westwood One Sports app.
Test, test, test.
Johnny Ballgame sitting in for Josh Graham. He is, as we speak, at the house that Peyton Manning built, a.k.a. the Final Four. Going to be a great time. He says college basketball for Josh Graham, and you guys listen to him often. That's his baby. He loves college hoops. And if you're from that area, North Carolina, like our boy Dalton is, the producer here, it's just, it's in the hospital, I think, when you're laying there. You can't get away from college hoops, and that's beautiful, and I love it. And I hope that aspect doesn't go away, the fact that it's just kind of another professional league that has free agency every single season and unlimited salary structure. It's the funniest thing ever. It doesn't make any sense, but, you look at the ratings and you look at this tournament and, it's working. Tonight's games, for example, 30 minutes from tip, so you guys are good here on Westwood One for a while. The first one, Illinois and UConn. These are weird for me because the teams I want aren't the teams I think will win. I have money. I have a nice little parlay, Illinois and Michigan. Parlay this thing, try to get the twofer. Dalton, you're a tobacco roadie, dude. You grew up with college hoops. Where do you think first game? Where do you think this one's going? UConn, Illinois. Who do you got? How are you going to get there?
I think it's going to be a very defensive game. Bit of a slug. I would stay away from the window from both of these games, by the way, in terms of the spreads and how close they are. I have Illinois winning this first game, though. I think their offensive efficiency is going to pull them through. The case for UConn would be the fact that you've had Dan Hurley in this position a lot of times. So maybe you get some of that magic. But if UConn's going to do it, they got to have more than Terrace Reed Jr. They got to get Caravan in there and get them involved. They're going to have good perimeter shooting. But ultimately, I think Illinois gets it done.
Interesting. Because I'm with you on Illinois, and here's how I'm getting there, Dalton. I think UConn, and I love them, and I want them to win, and I love everything about UConn hoops. I'm for it. I support them. I love it. But I think they might be punching a little above their weight class right now. And I say that because, my gosh, Duke gave them that, man. That was one of the 2 or 3 worst choke jobs I've seen in team sports in I don't even know how long. Oh, Duke, you didn't even have to do anything. Don't dribble, don't pass, don't shoot. Just stand there and let them foul you. Make a couple free throws, and you're here in this game as a favorite over Illinois. And they were up 19 in the second half, and Dalton loves this because he's a Tar Heel fan. You love it. It's the most beautiful.
I did have Duke winning it all, though, so it did kind of disappoint me in that way.
Gotcha. But I had Duke in a bracket, too. But I think that Duke shoulda, coulda, woulda won that game. Duke should be here, and they're not. And UConn's here because Duke stumbled, not because UConn was just better. And maybe they were, and maybe I'll be wrong on this, and UConn will beat Illinois, and of course they should have been here, and they're great, and they're fine. But I'm going with Illinois based on that UConn, man, they should have lost to Duke, in my opinion, and they would have been out of this. And I'm taking that logic and applying it to, okay, so now they're even playing a tougher team now. They shouldn't have beat Duke. And they were getting their ass kicked. So in Illinois, man, it feels like this the story no one wants to tell. It's that story. You don't want Illinois to win this thing unless you're maybe a Illinois or maybe a Big Ten fan or maybe a Michigan hater or whatever the case is. But, there's just not a lot that comes with Illinois. It'd be you remember Virginia winning it a few years ago? It was just kind of a bleh. It happened. Okay. I think that's what Illinois would be. But it'd still be a cool story, sure. 310-840-4910. What about Arizona, Michigan? For me, guys, and we don't get these in sports anymore at all, so I have to use this cheesy McGillicuddy analogy, but tonight's kind of like a heavyweight title fight. Remember when you would get that, guys? Remember, like, if you're in your 30s or 40s or certainly older, you'd get 3 or 4, maybe even 5 or 6 on a good year, massive heavyweight title fights. And they were a big deal. Saturday night, I was lucky. My dad got all the pay-per-view fights growing up. He was a huge boxing fan. So he was always buying. I mean, I saw the entire 1990s heavyweight division, starting with Tyson to Holyfield to Lennox Lewis to Foreman to Riddick Bowe, go on and on. Michael Moore, you can keep them coming. Hasim Rahman later there. Those boxing, those era where you would get those heavyweight title fights. That's where I grew up with. So I don't like that analogy because it's really weird in sports now, guys. We don't get that anymore. You get UFC as big as it gets for the combat or the mixed martial arts or just the fight geeks. I mean, boxing has like reality show dudes or guys in their 60s. Like, there's not a single sport that's been more decimated than boxing in the last 20 years, right? We don't care. I just named the entire heavyweight multiplex of the 1990s. I could name that many heavyweights now. That's where it's bad with boxing. But man, it was fun, right? And I know a lot of you folks listening, you're like, oh yeah, you remember those fights? Oh, they just took turns fighting each other in the 90s. And this was when Mike Tyson was in prison. Could you imagine if Tyson would have been in that mix? Because he went away. But the heavyweight division was still awesome, led by kind of Holyfield and Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe, George Foreman. But that's when a heavyweight title fight meant something. And to feel like that in sports, I go to a game like tonight, and I'll say, okay, Arizona and Michigan. It feels like a heavyweight title fight, man. Like these two big, badass teams, they pay the money. The kids want to go there because why? Because they're cool. Arizona has always been cool in hoops. Dudes always want to go there. And now they got money, man. And they're paying high-level dollar, like a lot of Big 12 programs are, which I love. But that's where it is. They're cool. In Michigan, I mean, come on, man. I'm not a big Michigan fan, never have been, West Coast guy. But, I mean, is there a cooler school than Michigan every era? I mean, now all of a sudden basketball, they've been pretty damn good at basketball for a while. Beeline, Fisher, right? Like they've had eras in hoops. But nowadays, guys, you don't have to pick one or the other. You don't have to be like, hey, man, we're a football school, and that's cool. That's what we're doing. We're a basketball school. We're a hoop school. Like, for example, Arizona, you're a basketball school. You are spending over $7 million a year on Tommy Lloyd to coach your basketball team. Brett Brennan, your football coach at Arizona, he makes $4 million. So Arizona almost pays the basketball coach twice as much as the football coach. There are seldom schools out there that pay that much more on their basketball coach than they do their football coach. Isn't like there's a football coach is basically the highest paid state employee in just about every single state, right? And that's how it works. But these two schools, heavyweight title fight, Arizona and Michigan, now all of a sudden, okay, Michigan can be really dope in hoops, and they are now because they have the money. And that's where kids are going to go, period, end of story. How much do you want, and then what comes with it? Just probably like you or I do. You know, my next radio job, what's the salary? It's important because then I know what I can do. Where am I going to move? What type of whatever, yeah. But that's the crazy thing. Tonight, I get that heavyweight title fight feel with Arizona and Michigan. And think about it like this. Like, who's it going to mean more for? Easy answer is Arizona because they haven't won it since 97, haven't been to a Final Four since Jason Gardner, Richard Jefferson, Luke Walton. Those guys went in 01. Think about that. That's Arizona. They care about hoops. They invest in hoops. Tucson, been there, love it, is all about college basketball in Tucson. So it would be huge if Arizona could win this, and then the money's going to flow even more. Because when you win, all of a sudden, now we got to pay more. If you're good and you win, it doesn't mean your payroll is going to decrease the next year. No. It's going to increase. And those who want to support the teams will most likely get the success. You get what you pay for type of thing. That's kind of where college sports are. Isn't that true? You get what you pay for now? And isn't this tournament a pretty good example of that? You get what you pay for? Heavyweight title fight. Michigan's got so much money, didn't even know what to do with, okay, now we're going to have a bitchin' basketball team too. And now they are in the Final Four again, trying to win their first title since Glenn Rice, Ramil Robinson, Loy Vaught, that team, 1989, mine. Steve Fisher taking over for Bill Frieder because Bill Frieder was going to leave at the end of the year. And the AD at the time, Bo Schembechler, was like, nah, need a Michigan man. He fired their coach right before the tournament started. And Steve Fisher was the associate or lead assistant. He got the gig and then won. And then recruited the Fab Five and then whatever, Hall of Fame, Steve Fisher. I hope it lives up to the billing. Don't you? Of course, right? No, I want to blow out so I can leave early, okay? Feels like it will. I'm going with Michigan, but I want Arizona. It's one of those things. Hey, Dalton, producer. God, that was very eloquent, Dalton, the way you described Illinois versus UConn. I think people are running to their sportsbook app, MGM. What about the nightcap? And do you sense that? Do you get that heavyweight title fight feel, Dalton, with Arizona tonight in Michigan?
You know what's funny? So I do radio during the week in North Carolina, and when I described this game on Thursday, I said, let's get to the heavyweight fight, because that's what it is. Yeah. So we're on the same wavelength on that one. I tend to go Arizona for this pick. I think this one's going to be a coin flip as well, but I think if Arizona can hold their own against Michigan's front court, which is no easy task, I think it's ultimately going to come down to guard play between Cadeau and Bradley. And I don't know if there's a better closer in the game right now than Jaden Bradley. And Elliot Cadeau, while good at times, Tar Heel fans know this, he can get a little too downhill sometimes and turn the ball over. So I'm going to go with Bradley over Cadeau, and I think Arizona wins the game tonight. That's what
He's got Arizona. That's Dalton. Again, the Dalton, as in one. Never underestimate your opponent. Expect the unexpected. 2, take it outside. Don't ever start anything in the bar unless it's absolutely necessary. And 3, be nice. Those 3 rules, Dalton, you're going to live your life by. I'm going on the experience factor. I think Michigan has men, and I think Arizona, bless their heart, their leading scorer is a freshman. He's awesome. Don't get me wrong. 2 other of their best players are freshmen. Don't get me wrong. They're great. Freshmen can win now, but I'm taking Michigan in the nightcap too. Hour number 3. Josh Graham out at the Final Four. John Mallory in. Will Dalton, Josh Jacobs, board operator, producer, Westwood One. We'll be right back. It's Westwood One Sports Night. Download the Westwood One Sports app. Luckily for Josh Graham, he's in Indianapolis right now for the Final Four. So good for Josh. He'll have great stories to tell when he comes back. I'm John Mallory, Johnny Ballgame, sitting in. Typically, you can hear me from 11 to 3 Sunday nights and overnight. Some good times there. Really good topics on Sunday night. It's crazy, man. You get all the truck drivers and everybody hanging out, and you just got the entire weekend to talk about. So that's a lot of fun. College basketball, like, you want certain stuff out of your sports leagues, right? Like the NFL, I ask for everything from you because I give you everything. I watch the NFL for 12 hours on Sunday, 4 hours, 3 hours on Monday, 3 hours, 4 hours on Sunday, right? It's like 20 hours a week. I'm just watching the NFL. And then my 9 to 5 job, so to speak, at KTIK Sports Radio, The Ticket, we talk about football in the NFL all the time too. Who doesn't? So we ask a lot of the NFL, man. You got to bring it. And it typically, in my opinion, does. Storylines, drama. That's the beauty about sports, man. The drama. That's why we love it. I mean, I heard somebody say once, what's beautiful about sports drama is the performers and the audience don't know the outcome. In the movie or the theater or whatever, the performers already know the outcome. The movie's already been shot. But in sports, no, you don't know. In most cases, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, that's kind of why we love sports. And for college basketball, dude, you better own March. Because this is not the European soccer fan in America. Dude, we're at a massive buffet, and we put all these sports on our plate. I have the NFL and college football. Those are my first two. Then I'll go, college basketball, baseball, NBA. And we have to make room for all of those on our plate. Some people, good for you, God bless you. You only have the Dallas Cowboys on your plate. Actually, I shouldn't say God bless you. I should say I'm sorry. But that's all you have on your plate. I have a lot of stuff on that sports plate. And when I get to college basketball, I don't need you in November, even though you're great there, and it's nice to have you with all those Thanksgiving type of tournaments and whatnot. It's great. But I don't need you yet because the NFL and college football are just they're in the prime of their season. So I don't need college basketball yet. After the Super Bowl, for a lot of us, I'm one of those. After the Super Bowl, okay, I'm diving in big to college basketball. And I watch a lot of college basketball during the season in the earlier months because I cover a college basketball team for my 9 to 5 job. So I follow the sport. Watch a lot of hoops. But I need college basketball mid-February. Don't mess it up. Give me a kick-ass championship week. All those tournaments going on. I was in Vegas one year for that. It was terrific. And I would recommend going to Vegas during championship week versus the opening round or Sweet 16 week. There's way less people and there's way more games. But college basketball, you have March. That's your job for most of the American sports fan. Give it to us in March. Make the tournament work. Keep us interested because it is no question the dog days of the NBA right now. You can't wait for the playoffs to start. College, this is your time. You are in the center circle. You're up. Spotlight college basketball. And this year, I haven't heard anybody say, oh, yeah, the tournament kind of sucked this year. Yeah, college basketball wasn't very good. I hear people complaining about the system, and I agree with them. Yeah, my team has no chance anymore. I'm hearing our team has a payroll of $2 million. Well, Michigan's going to pay that for their third guy off the bench. Not that much, but kind of, sort of. So you've been priced out. You totally have. It's not the little guy that's priced out, guys. Little guy was always priced out. It's not the little guy. It's the middle guy. The middle guy, see ya. The middle guy is the Atlantic 10, the American, the Mountain West, potentially the new Pac-12. That's the middle guy, not the little guy. Because the middle guy, they won't have any problem. The Mountain West has no problem beating up on the Big Sky or the Big West. The Pac-12, they'll handle the WAC, which doesn't exist anymore again. But yeah, the Big West, the WCC minus Gonzaga. How's that league going to look? Minus Randy Bennett. How's that league going to look? The middle guy. Now all of a sudden you're thinking, okay, we could play with the big guys. We could. Now it's like, dude, no, you can't. If you're, New Mexico, and you're going to operate with a $4 million, $3 million payroll, you guys, the mega teams are going to start paying that per player. So you're going to have to find some really good talent to be able to play for that much less money and then expect to beat them? The little guy is toast. The little guy has been toast. The middle guy is toast. And the middle guy didn't used to be toast. The middle guy could hang. You'd see an Atlantic 10 team get into the Sweet 16 or a Mountain West team or a American, whatever the case is. Florida Gulf Coast, what were they in? The Atlantic Sun? I don't even know what league they're in. You'd get that. You'd get a Sweet 16 team where most college basketball fans don't know what league they're in. Well, for the, fourth straight year, the Sweet 16 hasn't had any of those teams. And I thought I would have a problem with it, but I don't. Because I like the good teams too. I like the power teams. Yeah. Like, why should I not want a team that's going to put $20 million into its basketball program? Why should I not want them to win? They care. They have the money. They're putting it into it. They're investing. But no, I want to root for a little guy who doesn't pay players or pays them $10,000 each. I get it. You want an underdog story? That is one. But there are going to be fewer and fewer in those stories. Gonzaga, 1989, beautiful. They took that Elite Eight run and they built, the best, most successful basketball program out west this century? No Western basketball program's been more successful than Gonzaga since the year 2000. Nobody's won anything. Gonzaga's been to the title game twice. I'm worried about Gonzaga. Can Gonzaga offer the same amount of money as a Big Ten team or an SEC team? Can Gonzaga offer that? My answer is no. And my thought is that Gonzaga, and I hate saying this because I love that program. I'm from Seattle, man. I knew about Gonzaga when I was a kid. They didn't do anything. All I knew was John Stockton went there. That was it. And then 1999, I'm like, oh, Gonzaga. I'm from Washington State. I loved that run. I loved it. They went on an Elite Eight run with a bunch of white dudes shooting threes, and they were able to capitalize that and keep it going and get even bigger and better. The Gonzaga basketball story is there a better college basketball story over the last 25 years than Gonzaga and how that program was built Serve it up. I don't know. It's up there. My producer, Will Dalton, college basketball extraordinaire. I mean, I'm worried about Gonzaga because I've loved the Zags' place in college basketball, but Dalton, if you can't have a massive payroll with the Michigans and these teams, I'm just going to say good luck beating them. I'm worried about some of those programs. As great as this tournament has been, Dalton, I'm a little worried about some of those, not the little guy, the middle guy. And Gonzaga was still kind of the middle guy on budget, facilities, whatnot. I know they got the players, but now it doesn't matter how cool you are. It's just how much you pay.
I totally get it. And you're 100% right on that. I mean, players still want to play for Blue Bloods to a degree, but it ain't all about that. It's about the check. It's about who are you playing for. It's about the coach. And the middleman that you just described, like that is the scary spot to be. Because you're not going to be able to compete with Blue Bloods money. You're not going to be able to do that. You really don't know what to come for a Gonzaga or teams like Gonzaga. It's a very interesting topic, for sure.
I mean, I want Gonzaga to still matter, and it's going to be hard if you can't sign the checks that, like, for example, the last 20 years, who's had the better basketball program, Gonzaga or Michigan? I mean, that is debatable. They've both been to several Final Fours. They both put a ton of dudes into the NBA. I would maybe even argue that Gonzaga has put more players into the NBA. They were having one-and-doners every year for a while with Holmgren, Zach Collins, going on and on and on. Like, I could make a case that Gonzaga has had a more successful basketball program the last 25 years than Michigan. And now, man, I'm not going to that party. That's like bringing a butter knife to an atomic bomb fight. I don't know if I can do that. You better hit on the kids, and you better be able to go to those lower leagues and find those players, and they better be good enough to beat the mega teams only making a fraction of the salary. It's just a tough ask, Will Dalton. But I don't think for the grand scheme of things, I don't think the sport cares. Right? The sport cares about this. The Final Four, which just tipped off. That's what it cares about. And this tournament has delivered and the...
Go ahead.
This tournament has delivered and the ratings support it. And the little guy, middle guy, and all this stuff. Yeah, that's what college basketball wants, this tournament. And it's going to be sad to see certain teams. Think of a Nebraska football fan. Think about that dude. Talk about remember when, Dalton. You know, Nebraska used to be Ohio State for a long time. And now, dude, no way. No way. It's crazy, Willie. It's crazy.
You know, we do love a good Cinderella story. Like you mentioned High Point earlier. I'm 10 minutes up the road from HPU. So that hits home, man. However, this is what we want to see right here. And I could even make the argument that more people probably want UConn to win than Illinois for the exact reasons you just laid out, because they want to see Dan Hurley in the title game against Michigan or Arizona. That's what they want.
And college basketball, Dalton, does this better than anyone, okay? And I'm going to tell you what this is when we come back. Johnny Ballgame filling in for Josh Graham. It's Westwood One Sports Night. Download the Westwood One Sports app. Thanks, guys. How you doing, Jacobs? Are you handling this? I'm not too annoying for you, pal? Thanks.
Totally got disconnected there. I had no idea what you just said to me. Got you now, though.
Are you leaving the screen up on the commercial break? Am I still on?
Oh, I got you here. Did you go to break just then? My headset got disconnected for like 30 seconds, so I didn't hear any of what you had done there.
Okay. You're talking to me or Jacobs?
I'm talking to you.
Okay. Is that MC Light? Is that Queen Latifah? Is that Debrat? I don't know. I don't know who we're coming back with. Good stuff. Josh Jacobs, board operator, Dalton producing. And shout out to the folks in the Westwood Sports Night YouTube channel there. And I got to give a shout out to the Philadelphia Five. You're right, the Palestra. I hope those elements of college basketball don't go away. LaSalle, Penn, St. Joe's, Temple, Nova, the Philly Five, man. A10, doesn't matter the league. I hope that still matters. But those are going to be smaller, and hopefully you can get what you had from those growing up. But the one thing that I wanted to leave you with, or we were talking about with Dalton before, the producer, like college basketball, the one thing it has that the other sports, like, they can't touch it. And it's not the best tournament, because I'll give them that too. Even if you're going to add all these teams and you're going to have like a 24 team, first four, whatevs, fine. We'll still watch it. Even though it'll suck, we'll still watch it. But the one element of college basketball that is forever, and you can get as slimy, grimy, and greasy as possible, which is the college basketball offseason. You can get that greasy. But the one element that's always going to be there are the coaches. And the coaches are the stars. Name me another sport where the coaches are the stars. A big sport that you listen, that you follow. I'm sorry, man. Andy Reid's big time, but he's not Mahomes. Pat Riley was not Magic Johnson. Phil Jackson was not Michael Jordan. Right? I mean, Sparky Anderson wasn't as cool as Pete Rose and Johnny Bench. But in college, yeah, Coach K is bigger than Carlos Boozer. He is. Yep. Coach K is bigger than Zion Williamson, albeit for a few months. Okay? He is. Tom Izzo is bigger than the Flintstones. Tom Izzo was bigger than Mateen Cleaves. College basketball, the coaches are still the stars. Even though the players, and it's crazy, like the star player of a team usually will make more than every single assistant coach on that staff. And in some cases, I know a program where their best player makes more money than all three top assistants combined. But the coaches are still the stars. Even though it might switch where the players are making more money. As in the pros, the players are making more money than the coaches in most cases. In college basketball, as long as it has that, because that has worked, guys. I don't need to know who Rick Pitino's team is. I don't need to know the names. I don't need to follow the offseason. I know exactly what he's going to get. I know if he hits, I know what his team's going to look like. I know what they're going to play like. I'm going to know how to pick them in my tournament, in my bracket. You pick the coaches, and I get it. NFL coaches are as big as any pro sport in this country. Coaches, head coach in NFL destroys the NBA in Major League Baseball. If I went up to 100 people at the grocery store right next to this studio I'm in right now and said, who is the head coach of the Atlanta Hawks? No one's going to know. Right? No one's going to know. But there are a ton of, and I could go, who's the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars? There's going to be a couple yahoos walking around the store that say, oh, yeah, Liam Cohen, he's awesome. They'll know. Coaches are massive parts, but they are not the main star. You guys, Bill Parcells was a megastar. Megastar. Coached for the Giants, 2 Super Bowls, the tuna, megastar. He wasn't LT. No, that was Lawrence Taylor's NYC. He was the biggest star. Bill Walsh, huge. Montana to Rice. It just rolled off your tongue. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. Those were the stars of the Niner dynasty. It wasn't Jimmy Johnson. How about them Cowboys? No, it was the triplets. So you can give me as big a coaching figure as possible. The players are still the marquee in the NFL. And for college, and I hope this doesn't leave, in my opinion, college basketball needs these coaches now more than ever. I mean, think about this. Duke fan, North Carolina fan. He doesn't know who's going to be on his team next year. What the hell is going on out here? Duke fan doesn't know either. Think about this. Arizona fan doesn't know who's on his team next year. They got to go buy every one of these players back. You know who your coach is. And if you trust your coach, you know what type of team he's going to build you. And you will support it that away. You know Mark Few. You're going to support the Zags, yes. Even though Gonzaga's starting lineup next year will probably be 80% different, maybe 100. Seriously, like most teams, you're lucky if you bring back 2 starters now. It's ridiculous, dude. But that's what we're doing. So, coaches, we need you in this sport. We need Danny Hurley. Whatever the hell he was doing with that referee. We need Mark Few. We need Izzo. Pitino, yes. Now, I know he's a sleazeball and he's done a lot of stuff, but I love Rick Pitino in my college basketball world, that's for sure, because I know whoever he goes to, he could go to Iona and go to the tournament multiple times. He did. You give him the Johnnies, no one's won there since what? Louis C., realistically? Pitino in year 3, he's an earshot from the Final Four. Next year, he'll probably be in the Final Four, sure. College basketball, we need these coaches because they are the stars. You have no idea who your players are anymore. Dalton, my producer, Roadhouse, Double Deuce, Dalton, nobody wins a fight, Dalton. What's going through your head on all this as a diehard North Carolina Tar Heel fan? You don't have a coach right now, dude.
You know, a Tar Heel legend last night, Tyler Hansbrough, he was doing some work for the Field of 68. And he was making the point that he's not so sure now that Tommy Lloyd has done this extension with Arizona. Talk about a leverage play.
Yeah.
He made the point that maybe the Carolina job is not as coveted as it once was. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's not all about the brand anymore. It's partially about that, but it's more about what you just motioned, and that's the money, the bread.
Johnny
that's
Manziel.
What it comes down to.
The Johnny Manziel sign, man. Cash,
Johnny
bro.
But now, like,
Agreed.
Carolina's so late in the process. They don't know who they're going to get. Like, you hear Dusty May, you hear Billy Donovan, Mark Byington, potentially. Hansbrough actually brought out a good one last night. Mike Malone. I mean, he's still looking for a job.
Is he within the family? Not that it matters, but for them it kind of does. And if they can hit a home run in the family, then it's even better. They have never went out of the family since before Dean Smith.
He's not in the family. But I think his daughter is an athlete there in some way. I'm going to double check this, but I think she's there.
And here's the thing you need. Obviously it's money. If you have any question now, any question about college athletics, I'll tell you right now, the answer is money to everything. Okay, why this? Money. That's it. But if that is the case, and it is, North Carolina, you still need to be UNC, dude. You need to figure this out, and you still need to be badass. Duke, all the other blue bloods, or most of them, they have, and they realize, guys, if this is still going to be the Carolina way, well, then the Carolina way needs to be, okay, we have a higher payroll than Michigan. And that's why Dusty May is going to consider this. You're not going to go to Carolina when you know you don't have as good of players as you can have at Michigan. And Michigan now, we're living in a Big Ten world. I hate this for you, Dalton, but the ACC sucks now, man. Nobody cares about the ACC, even in basketball, which is weird, but nobody cares, man. Football's even worse. Like, it's one of those deals. Carolina, North Carolina, this crossroads, you'd think you have a big enough base to get the payroll to match with those guys. And if you can do that, Dalton, I don't know why a mega-level coach wouldn't be interested in that gig.
So, a couple of things. Mike Malone's daughter plays volleyball at UNC, so there's that. I wouldn't say the ACC sucks. I mean, they did get 8 teams in. Now, they all got eliminated other than Duke in the first weekend. However, to the point that we've been making throughout this entire show, because of the money, things have been evened. Because of the money, the SEC no longer dominates college football the way it did. Now the Big Ten has risen more to prominence because of all of this. This is why Indiana was able to win a title this year.
Crazy.
So it's all about the money.
Basically, in football, you picked up Ohio State's program and you dropped it in Bloomington, Indiana. That's what we've seen. Like, Indiana is operating football at an Ohio State level. Like, that's the commitment. Okay, we are no longer a basketball school. Hell, we haven't been one. Stop fooling ourselves. Indiana basketball fan and Nebraska football fan. I'm sorry, man, but that was then and this is now. And Indiana said, okay, we can do this in football? Wait, what? This is possible? We can be badass in football? I thought we could only do basketball because we're in Bloomington and we can't get the money. Yeah, you can. Because you have the base of alum. You're in the Big Ten, so you have the football money faucet, which is like $100 million a year in TV money that you use in revenue sharing to pay your players, plus what you raise. And now you have Indiana that has a massive base of alum that are saying, hell yeah, we love being awesome at football. I'll pay $500 for this. Yes. In many cases, way more than that. And now, yes, you have the power that is Indiana. Any other era, guys, any other era, Indiana's not keeping Kurt Signetti, right? Any other era. And now it's like, you get to keep your guy. And that is like, at least there's an answer now. The only problem is, I think for most schools, it's impossible to get to. And that is, if you have the money and you have the payroll, you can have a contender. But the issue is, good luck for a team like Boise State to be able to develop a football payroll on the level of a Big Ten or SEC team. You can't do that when you don't have the TV money to start with, and they don't. Like that element. But if they could somehow get the money, then they would get the players. But that's the other spot. How is a middle-level team program, mid-major, How are they going to end up to find and raise that much money? And then even if doing that they can convince the players to come play for them for all that money. And I think they would. You're going to go 9 out of 10 times who's offering the most money. And if it's different type of money, and that's the difference right now. The middle guy is trying to pay its best player $600,000 a year. The middle guy. That's a lot of money for its best basketball player, right? Well, the middle guy is saying, Coach, I have $2.3 million from a Big Ten team. 2.3. And I won't be the man there, but it's 2.3. Can you do anything else? No, we can't. You can be the man here. We'll give you the $600K. We'll give you a car. We'll give you a place to live. We'll do all this other stuff. But no, we simply can't match the Big Ten offer. That kid most times is going to say, well, it's too big a difference. You're talking 5 times the money. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You have to say, okay, sorry, Coach, but I got to go do this. I don't fault the kids for that at all. And maybe there will come a time where we do see a team that lives in the middle-class neighborhood that somehow, some way, has a famous alum or does something crazy where they're able to get this huge payroll. But right now, we don't have those programs. And if you're a group of 6 team in college football, dang, man, you're trying to get a $5 million payroll when you're hearing that Ohio State's payroll was 40 last year, which means it'll probably be 60 this year. Hard to compete. It was hard before. Now it's even harder, in my opinion. But, and it's a big Sir Mix-a-Lot, baby got back-sized butt. The ratings are kicking ass, man. Kicking ass, Seabass. People are watching. It's hard to stick up for the little guy, the middle guy, and certainly Cinderella right now. It's hard. Want to finish with some NFL? Again, Johnny Ballgame filling in for Josh Graham. My typical slot is Sunday late night, 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern on Westwood One. So you'll catch me in my horse-ass voice tomorrow. That'll be fun. But yeah, wanted to get to some NFL. Who's the week 1 starting quarterback for theirs? Who's the Raiders week 1 starter? 310-840-4910. Hop on. Westwood One Sports Night. Download the Westwood One Sports app. Been a fun one on Westwood One Sports Night. Johnny Ball Game, John Mallory filling in for that Graham Cracker Crunch. Josh Graham, who is in, as I like to call it, the house that Peyton Manning built for the Final Four. I always like playing that game. You know, they coined that with Babe Ruth, obviously. The house that Ruth built, Yankee Stadium, beautiful. And I always trying to, find a new stadium that's built, and it's the house that was built by, I grew up in Seattle. So when Safeco Field was built, it was the house that Griffey built. Easy peasy. It's got a statue outside of it. But certainly, Lucas Oil Field, that sucker isn't getting built without the Manning era, you would have thought. But good stuff. Final Four. Heavyweight title fight tonight in the nightcap in a close game right now. Again, this tournament has checked all the boxes, man. All the food groups are represented here. It's a very nutritious lunch, Brian Johnson. My dope is in your underpants. Dalton, did you get that at all?
No, I did not get that one.
Watch The Breakfast Club.
Is that what that's from?
That's from The Breakfast Club. What if your dope was on?
Movie.
What if your dope was on fire? That's impossible, sir. It's in Johnson's underpants. Classic line. I think, guys, the NFL draft is the next big event. After the Final Four, you got Natty Monday, and then where do you go? Well, most cases, it's football in this country, and you'll go to the draft. Who do we want? What's going to happen? There's not a lot of drama in this one. Will Fernando Mendoza be a guy? Is this Joe Burrow, Carson Palmer, Cam Newton, on and on and on, Peyton Manning, where there was, not even really for Peyton, but where there was a clear, is this Andrew Luck? Doesn't feel like that, but who knows in this league? And it's where you go. And Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. feels like is running the shots there. And I trust, even though it hasn't really been done, and maybe this makes me an idiot, but I trust Tom Brady to build a pretty good roster in Vegas. Do you? I kind of do. Better the hell than what they've had. I think Mendoza is going to work. And the reason is, first off, he's growing. He's bigger now than he was in the season. That's huge for me. But I think he's nerdy enough to make it work. Gosh, you need those nerds, man, especially when they're young. Fernando Mendoza is going to be 100% business. He probably already has their playbook. Ashton Genty, bring it. They're trying to make that and throw Brock Bowers in the triplets. Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, Fernando Mendoza, all 3 first-round picks in consecutive years. Bowers, Genty, Mendoza. 1988, Cowboys, first round, Michael Irvin. 1989, Cowboys, first round, first overall, Troy Aikman. 1990, first round, Cowboys, Emmitt Smith. Haga laga. That's what the Raiders want. Bowers, Genty, Mendoza. Great in theory. Wow. And I love the Kirk Cousins signing. The only person nerdier in the NFL than Mendoza is Kirk Cousins. Oh, they're going to get along so well. Cousins isn't going to step on anybody's toes. He's not going to bitch when he doesn't start week 1 if he doesn't. He's not going to bitch when he gets the gig taken away in week 4 because they're 1-2 or 1-3. It'll be Cousins is perfect. Hearing Kirk Cousins describe the Mike McDonald Seattle defense, if you guys caught that clip, it was brilliant. That type of intel is going to be right in front of Fernando Mendoza's face every day. That is a Harvard-level education in quarterbacking. having a Kirk Cousins in that room. Not to mention Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. knows a little something about the position too. This isn't Jamarcus Russell showing up to the Raiders with no plan. There's a Mendoza plan. And I think it's up to the kid. I think it's up to Mendoza. Is he going to be good? Because they will have, in my opinion, a good situation for him. The line's going to be better. It just has to be, and it will be. Genty is going to be way better because of the line. Way better. I think Ashton Genty right now is the hardest player to tackle in the entire NFL. Just wait, guys. Just wait. He's going to be the best back in the league as soon as it isn't Bijan Robinson anymore. Maybe a year or 2 or 3, it switches. But Ashton Genty, in my opinion, at one point will wear that championship belt that says biggest badass running back in the league. The Raiders have to do their part, though. You got to fix the line, and you got to figure out how to have a good passing game. And I think Kirk Cousins being a mentor for Mendoza, I'm buying in. What I don't like is, okay, it is the Raiders, man. I know it's a tough sell. It just hasn't ever clicked. I was saying this last year, by the way. I liked the Pete Carroll move. I liked the Geno Smith trade. I thought the Raiders were going to be pesky. I thought they were going to be sneaky. One of those teams that wins like 7 games, 8 games, 6 games, kind of like the Saints at the end of the year. They were pesky. They were beating teams they shouldn't beat. I thought that would be the Raiders. No, anything but, dude. That was gross. Last year was disgusting. So there's that. And then, and I think this is a big thing too, guys, the division. Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, and Sean Payton are all Hall of Fame coaches. Harbaugh, maybe not in the NFL right now, but he's kicking ass, but certainly with college and everything. Jim Harbaugh is a Hall of Fame caliber coach. If you don't think that, then my God, you must hate him. He's terrific. Sean Payton has it going. He found a quarterback. He's young. Guys, Bo Nix is on a rookie deal. That's when you got to hit it. You want your best when your quarterback is on his rookie deal, because then you get to spend money on good players. Because then Patrick Mahomes gets to have Tyreek Hill. All of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes didn't get to have Tyreek Hill anymore. Why? They couldn't afford him. They had to make that move. Tough move. They still won. They were still fine. Mahomes still won MVPs. Good for them. He was that good, and so was Andy Reid. But, man, of course they miss the Tyreek Hill type of impact. I don't think he's a bust. And if he is, it's just because he sucks. It's not, it's not because he's Johnny Manziel and he's a dipstick. We know Mendoza isn't a dipstick, right? If you watch one interview with him and then watch one interview with Johnny Manziel, tell me who the dipstick is. Final Four Saturday night. Dalton, you bouncer-loving sports radio producer, we'll let you get to the double deuce, Dalton. But before, one last time, who wins now? Who wins later? Who wins Monday?
It's Illinois in this game, even though they trail 4. It's Arizona in the nightcap against Michigan. And Arizona beats Illinois. And who would have been the Carolina head coach, Tommy Lloyd, he's not going to be. He's going to celebrate this new 5-year extension with a chip.
I'd love to see Arizona cut down that net on Monday night. He's Will Dalton, Josh Jacobs, not the running back, the great radio board operator. Great stuff today, guys. Mike Wickett is next, and I will see you tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern.